Hello, 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 Durud and Shalom, and Hola. Is anybody there? Hello, can you guys see me? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. I'm going to give everybody a chance to get in here. I'd like to talk to you guys in the chat, see what you guys are thinking, just for the first 5 minutes while we start warming up our engines. Glad you guys are here. Having myself a little bit of coffee. People coming in, saying hi, getting comfortable. Have a seat. We're going to be talking about a little bit of the revelations from yesterday. We did see some documents come out, but as it is with these things, it's usually a deluge, right? Of things that are happening, and it becomes kind of a problem. What? Wait a minute. What's going on with? Am I a ventriloquist? Am I looking like a ventriloquist? Hi. There we go. That's a little better. All right. I'm having a little bit of a fight over here with the computer to make it work. But let me know what you guys are thinking about, what you guys are talking about. Just, let me know in the chat what's going on. Did you guys see the videos? Did you see the president's address? Did you see how a lot of news stations cut it out? Like a lot of people just cut it out. They would not allow, yeah, some people saw it. Yep. Some people cut it out. They would not allow the station to show what's going on. And I thought that was a little bit uncalled for. I thought it was repulsive, actually. That's, I'm going to try to look something up here. Now, I'm pretty sure the First Amendment, I'm going to look up the First Amendment. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, prohibiting free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or therefore, or of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and petition the government for grievances. This isn't the text I'm looking for, because that might have been in the Bill of Rights. Let me see the Bill of Rights, because I do remember that it kind of said a free press being necessary, something like that. I'm old and I forget things. Here we go. I want the exact text, and whatever I do, I can't find the exact text, which is weird. I should be able to find it easily, but people like this internet just keep giving me different versions of it. Oh my god, it refuses to give me the answer. National Archives, they should have it. Conventions, articles. I can't find it. This is ridiculous. All right, Texas is here. I'm just gonna ask ChatGPT because it won't do it. Oh god. It won't it why does AI refuse to give me the Bill of Rights? This is fucking ridiculous. Anyway, all right, all right. I can't I don't have time for this shit. We're just gonna jump into the show because apparently AI hates the Bill of Rights. Now I have some new clips for you. A lot of these I haven't seen. Like part of the treat of reacting to content is that you haven't seen it. Like right? Now the first one I'm gonna put here is against the speech. It's against the us looking into what's going on, which is fucked up. But we have to do this. All right. In a second, while I set all this up, share screen, share window, this window, share. Let's go over here at the stage. All right. So this is Curtis Cook. Curtis Cook says, I know this might come as a shock, but ABC's Good Morning America absolutely hated the president's. Oh, Huck. Oh my God, I read that wrong. Absolutely hated last night's speech. Now, President Trump's primetime address last night, where he continued his campaign to cast out the 2020 election he lost and the 2026 midterms he fears losing. He did it by making a series of misleading claims and inciting dated intelligence that failed to demonstrate any votes were actually compromised. You see here, misleading claims. Who said they're misleading? You? Aren't you misleading? Okay, not this guy. The guy in Good Morning America. What was the name of the show? Good Morning America. Yeah, citing dated intelligence. According to who? It came straight from the CIA. How is it dated? Because there's a date. What does that mean? The president came before American people to talk about elections 6 years. You know what? This is a lot of talking. Let's just see what they say. Like this can be the exact same thing can be said about the opposition. That's the first fucking thing. The second thing is they do the same thing. Hillary went on like the Democrats hate anyone talking about election fraud unless it's them because they do it all the fucking time. According to who? What do you mean they were hoping for? He said what it was about. He said it was about voter integrity. Why would it be about something else? This is another thing that they're doing right here. Look at this. Wait a minute. No, not that. Look at this lady. Okay, look at this. The announcement was about voter integrity. Look what this bitch is doing. Listen to what she's saying. Why were Republicans hoping for that? No Republican was hoping for that. This is a literal lie. She is lying about the hopes of what people had about what was going to be talked about. That's absolute bullshit. That's not what they were hoping for. No sound? Oh, geez. I wonder if something went wrong here. You can't hear her? I apologize, guys. How about now?
President would focus on
House with the latest.
Can you hear her now? No audio coming from this? Yes, you could hear her now? Good? Okay.
Trump's primetime address last night, where he continued his campaign.
Okay. Future people of the world, I'm restarting the clip here. We're gonna make this into a clip, maybe if I have time during the weekend. I don't know. I might have to start taking a day off because I'm on air like 8 hours a day. Have very little time in between. But in any case, we're gonna restart here. All right, chat. All right, let's go.
Now to President Trump's primetime address last night, where he continued his campaign to cast doubt on the 2020 election he lost and the 2026 midterms he fears losing.
This is a lot of editorializing. This is bullshit. Why are you editorializing? Hola, some people coming in the chat. Welcome to the show.
He did it by making a series of misleading claims and citing dated intelligence that failed to demonstrate any votes were actually compromised. Senior political correspondent.
Failed according to who? Like, okay, if the FBI says, hey, we found these things, how did they fail? If the CIA had said, hey, we found these things, how did they fail? This is a literal lie because the same agencies that he said that were okay when his guy won are wrong when the other guy wins. He's not saying how it fails. He didn't say who failed it. Failed according to who? This is bullshit. And stupid people that believe the press fall for it all the time, especially really old people that don't know how to work the internet.
Correspondent Rachel Scott is at the White House with the latest. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning to you. And Republicans on Capitol Hill were hoping.
Okay, listen to what she says. Republicans on Capitol Hill were hoping. This is what she says. Look at what she's doing here. Now, this was announced to be for a long time, for days. This is about voter integrity. This is not about the war. This is about voter integrity. This is about the election. This is about the election. This is about voter integrity. This is about voter fraud. These are revelations about past wrongdoings. We have new evidence on voter fraud. This has been said for a week that's what they're going to talk about, right? Or at least a few days, at least 3 or 4 days. Everyone knew what this was going to be about. Listen to what this bitch lying sack of shit. Look at what this lying sack of shit is going to say.
George, good morning to you. And Republicans on Capitol Hill were hoping the president would focus on immigration, on the economy issue.
No one was hoping that. You're a lying sack of shit. Let's go at it again.
Would focus on immigration, on the economy, issues they believe will be important to voters this midterm election.
You see why she has to keep blinking? She's a blinking liar. You ever heard that expression? Oi, that's a blinking liar. People over there on the other side of the pond would say stuff like that. I think people over here would say it too. By George, she's a blinking liar. Like, that's why she blinks so much. Look at this blinking liar.
The economy, issues they believe will be important to voters this midterm election. But instead, the president came before the American people to talk about an election that he lost 6 years ago.
Just keep blinking, 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 blinking. Instead, no, that's exactly what he said he was going to talk about.
Using unfounded claims.
Unfounded according to who? Are the FBI unfounded now? Is the CIA unfounded now? This is all just them lying. This isn't even editorializing. They're making up the story.
To demand sweeping changes ahead of the midterms.
Because they don't want the sweeping changes, so they're lying about what was going to be said. They won't air 1 second of it, maybe. Let's see.
With the midterm elections just 4 months away, President Trump taking to the podium in prime time to sow doubt in America's election system.
Sow doubt. Okay, so when Trump won, you were saying that Elon hacked the voting machines. This wasn't even that long ago. You were saying that Elon hacked the voting machines when Trump won. Like, I remember all this shit these motherfuckers were talking a year ago, a year and a half ago. But now it can't be doubted.
Making misleading claims about the election he lost 6 years ago.
No country can be great without fair and honest elections. You have to trust your country.
In a 25-minute speech, the president making extraordinary and vague claims.
Extraordinary and vague claims that you won't repeat. Why?
That officials he appointed in his first administration were part of a cover-up to keep information about.
No, he didn't say that it was the people that he appointed. This is just lying. That's just lying. I saw the speech. That's not what he said, because these people are counting on you to not hear what he actually said.
Foreign interference and election fraud away from him, arguing newly released documents would show efforts by China to
Newly released documents would show efforts
interfere in our elections and expose flaws in the voting system.
They're vulnerable and they're easily compromised, and people within our government knew that.
But the president provided no evidence that.
Bullshit. He released, oh my God. He released thousands of pages of documents. I think it's thousands. It might be hundreds. But I'm pretty sure it was a lot. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. He released no documents. Look at all this. Evidence. Here's the evidence. You can download it. I don't know what they're talking about. China's accusation, explanation, and voter data. Like, this is all, they're lying. That's literally a lie. All you have to do is look at it. Release no evidence.
Compromised, and people within our government knew that.
But the president provided no evidence that.
That's a lie. He immediately provided the evidence. And you know it, because this is Good Morning America. The next fucking day.
The outcome or any votes were altered in the 2020 election. And his claims deeply contradict the assessments his own intelligence officials gave him in 2021, that China did not attempt to.
Yeah. You're trying to tell me that in an investigation, you find all the evidence the first day. Is that how investigations work? Right? Oh, if you didn't find it right now, if you don't find it the second you go in, while the last guy's appointees are all in there, because remember the claim, he said that his own appointees didn't find it. That's what he said. That's what she said. She said his own appointees didn't find it. That's her claim. That's not the reality, though. She's talking about the findings of a different year. She's talking about Biden's employees. That's number one. Number two, if it were his employees, if there's a murder case today, right, and you pick up the evidence and you find more evidence tomorrow, you can't say, oh my God, you didn't have that evidence yesterday, so this is all bullshit. It doesn't even make sense.
Influence the presidential election outcome. Trump lost in 2020 by 7 million votes. He lost the Electoral College and lost more than 60 court cases challenging the election, some in front of judges he appointed. And there's no evidence of widespread voter.
That's him. Oh my God. Here's the caveat: widespread. There's lots of evidence on video of widespread election fraud. Lots of evidence. We've reviewed that evidence here.
Fraud, something his own attorney general at the time acknowledged. Still, the president has been fixated on unfounded claims of voter fraud, demanding Congress pass the Save America Act, a sweeping voter ID bill, alleging his administration found more than 275,000 non-citizens on the voting rolls.
Alleging. What do you mean alleging? It's right there on. It's the evidence.
But
if you found them, you're not alleging. You found them.
No point did the president prove people cast ballots.
At no point did the president prove that people cast ballots. What? Okay, so why does it only matter when? I don't even understand this.
75,000 non-citizens on the voting rolls. But at no point did the president prove people cast ballots who shouldn't have.
If they're not on the voting rolls, they shouldn't have cast the vote.
Election officials.
You know what they're doing? Do you see that there's there's difference between evidence and proof. And they're using the word proof because proof is beyond a shadow of a doubt. You have proof. It's not the same as evidence. There's plenty of evidence. Look at how sneakily she does.
People cast ballots who shouldn't have. Election officials ID bill of voter fraud, demanding Congress pass the Save America Act, a sweeping voter ID bill, alleging his administration found more than 275,000 non-citizens on.
Finding that many citizens that shouldn't be on the voting roll is evidence. We've seen video of people doing the ballot thing, like registering people to vote that it's not even their name or their number. They're just told, they give me money, I write the name they say. And when you look at it, they're signing voter rolls. They get caught with this shit.
The voting rolls. But
not only that, people have been convicted for this.
At no point did the president prove.
So proof is different than evidence. It's been proven is a standard that probably in this case means that it already went through a court case. By her extraordinary standard.
People cast ballots who shouldn't have. Election officials across the country quickly responding. Nevada Secretary of State saying there are numerous protections in place to prevent non-citizens from casting.
That doesn't mean they didn't do it. That's like saying murder. No one commits murder. There are various protections in place to prevent murder. That doesn't mean it doesn't fucking happen.
A ballot. And in Pennsylvania, the Republican Secretary of State telling the New York Times, all evidence has shown that non-citizen voting is extremely rare across the country, including in Pennsylvania.
How would he fucking know? He works in Pennsylvania. I don't care if he's Republican. He's at least purple because Pennsylvania is pretty blue. Isn't that John Fetterman's place?
Yeah. Democrats warning that President Trump is laying the groundwork for challenging future election results.
No one kills anyone with a gun when there are gun laws. Yeah, exactly.
He's laying the foundation to be able to tell America after Election Day that the election was corrupt and therefore should not be respected.
Why? How does that lay the foundation? I mean, this is exactly what you said when he won. When he won again, you were already saying that. So he's saying the thing that you said 2 years ago, a year and a half ago?
We just got word from both China.
Look at this blinking liar. God damn, she blinks a lot.
China and Russia, they're rejecting the claims that.
Oh my God, China and Russia are rejecting the claims
The president made last night. As he closed his speech, he demanded that Republicans on Capitol Hill pass the Save America Act. This is his voter ID bill, which would require proof of citizenship to register to vote. It would also severely restrict mail-in voting.
Yes, look, see how she has to close her eyes because she knows she's full of shit.
But the president does not have the votes to get this through Congress. And what's more, that.
What do you mean? This already went through Congress. This already passed Congress.
That bill does nothing to address what the president spent most of his time focused on last night, these allegations of foreign election interference.
The foreign election interference comes in the way of them taking the information and giving it to Democrats. So Democrats can do voter roll fraud.
Which, again, his own intelligence agencies at the time said was just simply not true.
His own intelligence agencies at what time? At the time that he came into office when Biden's people were still in power? So yeah, I want you to look at the blink rate. Look at this. Look at this. Look at how much this lady blinks. It's fucking blinking liar.
Proof of citizenship to register to vote. It would also severely restrict mail-in voting. But the president does not have the votes to get this through Congress. And what's more, that bill does nothing to address what the president spent most of his time focused on last night, these allegations of foreign election interference.
Oh my God, she's so full of shit that if he sat on a stool, she'd be redundant. Just shit on shit. Okay. Let's try to watch someone that has a different take on this. Oh my God, I don't really trust this guy, but let's hear what he has to say. I can't. I don't like this guy. I can't do it. I don't care if he's in favor. I hate that guy. Trump was right. Vote of Georgia. Real and voice. What? What is? Oh my God! Why is all this coming from the same place?
Well, at the highest levels, Natalie, I think number one is what the president announced that he was releasing proves that he was right about election security throughout the country. Number two is that our own government officials covered this up last night.
Yeah, I'm not using that. I'm not using these. Like, these are all from the fucking same place, and I can't do it. Let me see what I find. I'm gonna do my own investigation here. If you guys want to subscribe to me, I'm almost at 690, making our way to 1,000 subscribers so I can get some monetization. So I would appreciate that greatly if you guys could give me a help. I'm going to put the link in the chat for you guys. So I'm late watching Goldie. Well, you know what? We love Goldie and we love Patito. So, I'm glad to know that they're having a nice conversation over there. All right, let's see what Fox is saying about this. We're just doing it live. Okay, this is about none of this is about what he said. This is interesting. Why isn't Fox talking about this? It's been a whole day. World Cup, FIFA, Fetterman draws a line in the sand. Water's our worst nightmare. This might be about the election. Let's see. These guys love integrity in the vote. You guys want to see this? You guys want to see what they're talking about? I think we should. I think we should react to this.
Let's check in on the Democrat Party.
I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want to use the bathroom. And if they want me to use the men's room, I will, but I don't want to be assaulted.
Oh, yeah. Like, oh, my God. People are going to jump on that. Ladies. Like, clearly. Look at this. Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Ashley is running. That's Ashley.
And if they want me.
You want this guy in the bathroom with you, right? Like when you're like, hey, I have to use the ladies' room 1 second. You got to go in and take care of your makeup or whatever. This is who you want to stand next to, right? Look at the eyes. You guys love chameleon eyes and penises on your fellow women, right?
Anybody. I just want to use the bathroom. If they want me to use the men's room, I will, but I don't want to be assaulted.
No one's going to assault you for going in the men's room. Who's going to assault that lady in the men's room? He seems to have his doubts. I don't know. Something about his face is telling me he has his doubts. If this thing walked into the men's room, no man would care. They probably call him man. And just, yes, okay, not even address, or if he says something that, yes, ma'am, and they leave. You know why? Because they don't care if you're transgender. They care that you're going into the woman's bathroom. That's what will get people angry. You want to get assaulted, go into the woman's bathroom while some guy has his wife or his daughter in there, and you take your ass in there. That's how you're going to get assaulted, for exposing yourself to children.
That's Ashley. Ashley is running to replace Nipple Nazi in Maine. Plattner got Me Too'd and cooed, so the Democrats scrambled together a little primary.
Oh my God, this is their replacement? This is who they got to replace Plattner? Oh my God. They might as well give up. Might as well.
And now we've been blessed by an angel.
What qualifications do you have to serve in the U.S. Senate?
She's the biggest one there. Look at this. Bruh. This woman is huge. I bet her penis is tiny, though.
Oh, I ran for office several times. Didn't win, but they did run. And then I'm a songwriter. And then
Oh my God! You know what we need in politics? More songwriters.
write my own books.
Oh, he wrote his own books.
And then I suppose my transparency, I wouldn't lie to the people, and I wouldn't
What do you mean? You're lying right now?
deceive the people like we're being deceived right now.
When Primetime saw Ashley, we fell in love, and we had to know more. Her Reddit page says she ovulates and menstruates. You go, girl. Her book?
That's transparency. Her telling us how she ovulates and menstruates. Like, how does she menstruate out of a penis? I wonder. That's the kind of transparency you want to see. Let me see what it says here. I like how the response is Trump said 220 million data breach. There's only 180 million registered. Missed the entire other half. Yeah, they were flipping it. Yeah, look. We know they're like we know you're right. We know you're right. But look at this rainbow victory we have here. Like, this is a cause for celebration. You may think, what are you talking about? That's a horrible choice. Yes. And a lot of people are going to see that it's a horrible choice and not vote for this thing.
It's a memoir. It's called I Am Ashley. There's not a book. I want to read more. We can't wait to get our hands on.
Also, it's not even a book. It's a memoir. By transparency, I don't lie.
A copy. So if anyone's watching and has an old edition, please send to Fox News headquarters in New York.
Okay, apparently, like over here, our friend Muhammad's Lawat says menstruates with her music. Oh, like maybe her music is making us menstruate, men and women. Just tear out the inner lining and bleed it out. Okay.
New York. Attention, Johnny.
It's a little graphic.
Ashley is a self-proclaimed songwriter, and we'll have you know that she's self-produced 4 albums. They haven't gone platinum yet, but maybe they will now.
Diet MAGA, Chuck Schumer. He's a real ass clown. Yeah.
Y'all grooving to the beat? Are y'all grooving to the beat? Let's take it back. Let's take it back. Let's run it back.
Maybe they will now.
You gotta hear that again.
Diet MAGA, Chuck Schumer. He's a real ass clown. Yeah. Oh, damn circus in a suit now.
Open your heart to Ashley.
I mean, at least she's gonna get a career start. Oh my god, the chat's getting tampons for this. Okay. I see where this is going.
But whatever you do, don't get on her bad side.
And I suppose the biggest thing is, like, I'm just an angry citizen now, and if I got elected, I'd be an angry senator, and I think that would probably be their worst nightmare.
Not our worst nightmare. Ashley's a dream. She's what we want, what we need. The Democrats need her. Maine needs her.
Yes.
Graham Plattner, wherever he is, would definitely shuck Ashley's oysters.
But I believe they called it pork bellying. By cutting out the pork bellying from all the bills, I'm sure that would save a lot of money as well.
If you want your bills pork bellied, Ashley's your girl. But if you don't,
No, stop calling him a her. Oh, come on. Come on. Don't you want this to be the candidate? This should be the candidate. Who the hell is going to vote for this? They're going to lose.
the main primary is
This is like a local Kamala. Nobody's voting for this.
stacked. There are over a dozen candidates running, but none of them are
We got a challenge. Ashley couldn't handle a real menstrual cycle. I mean, maybe. I don't know. We'd have to stick something like the process to get her to make that happen would be kind of difficult. We'd have to grab her penis, stick some kind of circular hook that doesn't scrape on the way in, but does on the way out. And that way you pull out the inner lining. I think we should have her try.
bringing Ashley's creative energy.
So I have many ideas on this one. And if you'd like to.
Like, okay, maybe you guys don't want to go over the mechanics. I understand that. It is kind of rough. The mechanics of this would be kind of rough.
Go
Give
get
me
a
one.
mocktail.
Give me an example of a specific area of oversight that you'd like to have a hearing on.
Well, I'd like to have a lot of hearings.
That's Sheena. She says she didn't have time to do her homework for the debate because she was on vacation, relaxing on the Kennebec River. Sheena's Secretary of State, TDS like you wouldn't believe.
She plans to be on vacation. Okay. I mean, would you rather have a senator that's always there pushing for some crazy shit or have this bitch win who's always on vacation?
She kicked Trump off the
I'll take the bitch that's on vacation.
ballot in 2024.
She likes to be comfortable. Easy to buy. These people will sell out.
So what would she do?
So what would I do? Hell yeah.
No. This is too easy. The nominee should be the Ashley. Ashley should be the nominee against almost any Republican.
I'd expand the Supreme Court. We need to.
Expand the Supreme Court.
Hell yeah, Sheena. You pack the court and you pack it fat. This bench goes even deeper. There's options galore. Whatever floats your buoy.
Option glory hole.
I did this because I'm very interested in climate.
Karen. Is that her name? She not? I mean, I'm getting that energy. Angry, pursed lips, red in the face.
That's Liz. She's a climate hippie, garden landscaper, and a DoorDash driver.
Oh, right.
She's also pursuing a career as a realtor so a lot on her plate. And in her spare time, she tracks the
Brother, that's a tough exam. I don't think she's going to pass it.
Northern Lights. But if she's elected senator, the people of Maine will be her northern light. Speaking of climate, they're also running a dude who brews environmentally friendly beer.
What is your experience in the fields of defense and national security?
What does this have to do with beer? We have an idea here, like an exchange. Can we send Maine to Canada? What do we get? Do we get Alberta? I heard Alberta's based. We'll have to think about that.
Well, I don't come from, I wasn't in the military and I wasn't in the defense industrial complex.
I wasn't in the defense industrial complex. I'm trying to have a little hops beer complex.
I'm a small brewery owner, but I understand, we have materials.
How small? Your garage?
That are sourced from around the world. The German brewing equipment is the best brewing equipment.
Okay, so Texas is behind this switch. Alberta for Maine, or just send it as a gift. Get nothing in return. We have to ponder these things.
Equipment brewed in the world, built in the world.
Cheers, Dan. Danny Boy calls himself a centrist, but wants to abolish ICE and take away your doctor.
Okay.
Actually, they all do.
You just said you're for Medicare for all. Is everyone on this panel? Dan, no?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
just
Medicare for all. Okay.
checking. Just checking. That's 8 for 8 with the candidates. Some of us say,
Look at the one with the crazy eyes. Oh my God. Everyone is trying to not look at her, but kind of scared of her and her penis. Look at them.
with the candidates. Some of us say,
I'm actually on Medicare.
oh, okay.
I'm on it right now. I'm not just an advocate for Medicare. I'm on it right now. Bro, she has that's, I don't know. I'm getting John Wayne Gacy vibes.
Well, there you have it.
Ashley's on Medicare. She looks good for 65. This primary is loaded with candidates. We could go on and on. Here's the front runner, Troy. He's a logger.
I know what they're scared of. Like, I just received some information. They're scared of his uterus. That's exactly right. That's
But he
what's going
can't
on
cut.
here.
I've definitely been involved in doing a bunch of balanced budgets here in the Maine legislature. But if we want to balance the federal budget, none of us actually know the right way. I mean, this is insane.
They don't know how to balance the budget.
Besides Ash, I'm not feeling the same sizzle as Nipple.
Yes, apparently Nipple Man, Nipple Nazi, like that's not a Crusader tattoo. This is like the hardcore SS tattoo.
The debate moderator said he was bored.
When it comes to charisma, Plattner had a lot of advantages, and I don't think any of those people.
Someone's over here is getting Jeffrey Dahmer vibes. Okay, so here's the thing. I bet he has the appetite.
That we saw just now have that card to play.
Good thing there are still more candidates to go around. Not everybody was on stage.
Some people didn't even bother to go. What?
Christina, also running. She's an artist, storyteller, and poet. She's been living in New York City for 20 years. But she says she's...
Why is she in Maine then? Why is she in Maine? I mean, why is she in Pennsylvania? This was Pennsylvania, right? Well, Maine.
Moving back to Maine. What prepared her for the job of senator? The theater.
Last year I went alone and I watched 37 shows in 5 days.
Okay, this is something that everybody knows. Democrats are a bunch of performative theater kids. That's what they fucking are. Everybody fucking knows that the Democrats are theater kids. self-indulgent, performative theater kids.
And I just felt like I had been given all of this knowledge.
Oh my God, I got all my knowledge about how the Senate procedures work in the law because I went to theater.
Who has time to do this? Let me go over this again. Does anybody know how expensive this is to do this in New York?
Of senator, the theater.
Last year I went alone and I watched 37 shows.
She watched 37 theater shows alone. Why are you alone? Don't you have friends? Alone. 37 shows alone.
In 5 days. And
in 5 days. Now I don't believe you. How did you is that logistically even possible?
And I just felt like I had been given all of this knowledge about life and relationships and
Oh, because we should get relationship advice from who? Fucking Romeo and Juliet over here. Is that what we're doing?
and creativity and I, you can't.
Okay, so that's 7 shows a day. How long is the show? About an hour? Does she think this is her job? No, I think it's more than an hour. Is there enough hours in the day to do this? How many does any theater have 7 shows a day? When do these shows start? 3 hours. So this isn't even logistically possible. Yeah, you can't logistically do this. Yeah, she's full of crap. How the hell are you going to do that? In 5 days, if each theater, let's say it's 2 hours. Even if it's 2 hours, 14 hours a day. Let's say it's 2 hours instead of 3. Just to average it out. 2 hours a day, 2 hours times 7. That's 14 hours. There's 24 hours in a day. Right? So 14 hours. What theater opens that long? She's just lying. Okay, so we have an idea here. And got life knowledge from Broadway. Elect her. She's qualified. Because Broadway, that yes. Yes, Tex. Absolutely.
Get that experience anywhere else, or you certainly can't get that experience for that price, right? It's just awesome.
Well, did she have like a pass? Are theaters not getting enough people, so they have this special where you can go as many as you time? Is there a real life Netflix where you have a card and they let you go into any theater, so you go to the first one that opens and then go to another one? What the hell is going on here? I don't understand how this is even possible.
It's magic.
She seems sweet, but she's no Ashley. It's not just Christina. This whole party's putting on a show. Although Randy is a little rated R.
To protest together, to vote together, to act together, to bring about change, real, lasting, life-improving change.
That's a theater. This is a theater person. She's been like this all her life.
That is the power and potential of our movement and of the.
These people all think their life is a movie and they're about to get to the climax of the movie.
AFT! And one more thing. We get done.
Oh, wow.
My apologies to the children.
We get poop done. You know what? There's a book about this, okay? People might not be aware about this. I'm going to explain something to her that she might not know. Just because she gets shit done, that doesn't make her special. Okay? Everybody poops. We know about this. There's books about this. Everybody knows. Everybody poops. They say they get shit done. Big deal. Everybody gets shit done. No one likes your shit. That's your problem.
When the Democrats said the future is female, now I know what they mean. Lesbians, Ashleys, Sheenas, Christinas, they come in all shapes and sizes, different flavors, accents, lists.
The future is female, and sometimes it has a penis.
Some have regal sounding names like Chevalier. Some are Ethiopian baristas. Divorced, never been married, single, ready to mingle. Hey, Haley.
I got an election coming and I gotta let it rip.
Ew. Ew, don't let it rip. This man is looking at you like, let me go.
Help yourself.
Haley says she wants to stick it to him.
Haley, let it rip. Okay.
But she's going to have to go through Abdul.
We sit in this defensive crouch. I don't play defense. I go on the attack. I think you have a lot of folks who are working people who work with their hands every day who realize that both parties are lying to them. And the hard part about it is it's one thing to stab somebody in the face. It's another to stab them in the back. Yeah, I'm a threat to your system. So of course they're freaking out. They're not freaking out because they think I'm going to lose. They're freaking out because they think I'm going to.
Yeah, I don't think she has a job. Do you think that lady has a job? It's Abdul versus this lady. Let's look at Let Her Rip again. Does she look like she has a job? I mean, she works with her hand, thumb wrestling her jelly bean. I don't think she's doing anything else all day. What do you guys think?
Yourself.
He's so excited to be touching a man. She was jumping.
Haley says she wants to stick it to him, but she's going to have to go through Abdul.
We sit in this defensive crouch. I don't play defense. I go on the attack. I think you have a lot of folks who are working people who work with their hands every day who realize that both parties are lying to them. And the hard part about it is it's one thing to stab somebody in the face. It's another to stab them in the back. Yeah, I'm a threat to your system. So of course,
I'm going to stab you in the face. They're going to stab you in the back. Vote for me. Face stabber. Are you going to... Guys, what do you want to vote for? Do you want to go for Abdul face stabber or Stacy backstabber or Ashley backstabber? She's got like a 7-inch uterus and she knows how to use it. And over here we got Abdul face stabber. Who are you picking? These are your choices, Democrats.
of course they're freaking out. They're not freaking out because they think I'm going to lose. They're freaking out because they think I'm going to win.
Yeah, I know why people are freaking out, Abdul. Because the commies want to abolish the Senate.
So
they want to take.
They want to eliminate the Senate. Why is the Senate? They want direct vote? What do we want? Oh, they're lying. That's right.
Take away your right to vote for senator and give illegals the right to vote. Not sure how that makes.
Oh, we have an explosive comment here. Explosive comment. What did Jihadi say about letting it rip? It goes boom.
America more democratic.
Ripcord leads to
and
boom.
after democracy, capitalism's got to go.
Is democratic socialism compatible with capitalism?
In the long term, no. We're anti-capitalist. We want a world beyond capitalism.
So what does a world beyond capitalism look like? The government controls everything, like supermarkets.
In that business in the first place.
What about apartments? Should those be free? Yeah. First step, get rid of the people who own the building.
Whether that's like sending a demand letter with like fancy legalese so your landlord takes you seriously, or like writing really bad Yelp reviews of like his stupid flower business, or like crashing his wedding. Or
look at this bitch. You know what I think? I think this bitch is not going to pay her rent.
Or his kid's wedding, or you know, going to his house.
That's Tracy. She lives in LA. Not a big fan of private property. See what's going on here? They're coming for the landlords, the doctors, the cops, ICE, but they're making nice with prisoners. They're on the same side as MS-13 and Hamas.
We saw a little bit
Maybe
about
I was
this
wrong
yesterday.
about Ashley. Maybe they are our worst nightmare. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube.
All right,
and
all
catch
right.
full
This was
shows-
kind of nice. This was kind of nice. 10-minute video. It's pretty long. This was pretty long, but like they sent me a whole bunch of videos from the same guy. I don't really like that. I want to see some pro. Okay, let me see what I can find. This is gonna be pretty bad. It's gonna be pretty bad. Let's get ready. NBC Today. Okay, here we go. Y'all ready for some bullshit? Y'all ready for some bullshit? All right, let's do this.
Also this morning, reaction pouring in to President Trump's rare primetime address to the nation, using his speech to revive false claims about the 2020 election and raising questions about election integrity ahead of the midterms this November. NBC's senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez has that story for us. Gabe, good morning.
Laura, good morning. The president has questioned election integrity before, but these claims are taking on new urgency with the midterms less than 4 months away. Despite vast evidence to the contrary,
Motherfucker, the evidence supporting this comes from the same place as the evidence to the contrary. That's why I said these people are not stupid. They're lying. You're like, well, what is this guy, an idiot? No. He knows he's lying. Okay, so the new FBI evidence is crazy because the old FBI evidence was the good stuff. Why? Because it's convenient for you.
The president is now laying out a wide-ranging conspiracy theory about his 2020 election loss to Joe Biden. Overnight, President Trump ramping up his claims about election security. The White House posting newly declassified but heavily redacted documents.
You can't show these people's addresses. Of course it's redacted.
Put together, these disclosures reveal an election system so broken and so vulnerable that no one can possibly.
Also, if you're going to throw these people in jail, you can't put their name on it. Because these are inside investigations. People outside don't know that it's their name in there.
Defended. The president describing efforts by China to access U.S. voter rolls, though much of that information is already publicly available.
No, your name and address on the voter rolls. I mean, I guess some of that information is public, but everybody knows that there was a big hack into the voter roll system. Like this was all over the news.
While China denies it, Trump alleges the country targeted his 2020 campaign.
They fought like hell not to have it, Donald Trump, to win.
Adding that members of what he calls the deep state tried to cover it up.
In our intelligence agency worked to actively suppress and downplay information about the extent of China's sinister election meddling.
But one of the documents released overnight also refers to Chinese efforts to target Joe Biden's campaign. And for years, U.S. intelligence assessments have shown that American voting systems have been a target of foreign adversaries.
Oh, wait a minute. So he was fair about it. He said they also targeted Joe Biden's elections because. So why are you like he's both siding it?
Years of recounts, audits, lawsuits, and reviews have not found evidence of enough fraud.
Look at this. Look at what he says and look at what's on the image there. Look at what he says and look at the image. I want you guys to notice the difference because this is the deception.
Have not found evidence of enough fraud.
Not found evidence of enough. What does that say? That means we did find evidence. We're just claiming it's not enough. See what's going on here? He said there is fraud.
The image says no evidence found of any of these four things. Look at what he says and look at what he puts on the image.
Audits, lawsuits, and reviews have not found evidence of enough fraud to overturn Trump's 2020 loss.
This is so he can lie on TV. He's lying with the image, but in his speech, he's being so ambiguous that you can't say he's lying. But when you look at the image, he's literally lying.
Our purpose in disclosing this information is not to weaken confidence in election, but to earn that confidence by confronting vulnerabilities and correcting them very, very quickly.
The president also pointing to a review of state voter rolls and public records by the Department of Homeland Security.
Look, at least these people are like pointing that there's more sources, right? But it's still all bullshit.
They identified approximately 278,000 non-citizens who are registered to vote in
278,000 non-citizens. That's a lot.
Federal elections.
But election experts say the database that may have been used.
Look at that phrase, election experts say. What the fuck is that? By that metric, I'm an election expert. What the fuck does that mean? Election experts say. This is a false appeal to an invisible authority. Look at that false appeal to invisible authority. Look at the trick. Look at the trick he's about to play. Look at it. Listen carefully for the trick.
Vote in federal elections.
Listen for the trick.
Election experts say the database that may have been used for that.
Elections.
But election experts say the database that may have been.
The database that may have been used. So they're not even sure about the election database. May have been used. We have an invisible appeal to authority and a caveat. May have been used, or they may have been used something else. Okay, let's keep going.
Citizens who are registered.
Listen to the guy. How many lives you can clock?
But election experts say the database that may have been used for that analysis often flags newly naturalized citizens.
Often. May, often. So these are ambiguous terms. May or may not. Often, but not always. You understand what's going on? Experts say. What expert? What makes them an expert? We're not even going to give you the name of that is. So people who may be experts that you don't know and they can't tell you why they're experts say that they maybe are talking about roles. So these are not the roles they're talking about. We're not sure. Maybe that's what they're talking about. And what I think maybe they're talking about is a thing that sometimes, often is not yes or no. Often is sometimes flags the wrong people. Can you see how densely packed the bullshit is? Look at how densely packed this bullshit is. Look at how densely packed this bullshit. False appeal to an invisible authority, and that is unnamed, followed by an ambiguous claim of a document that they are pretending is the document being cited, but they don't know, may. And then claim to something that sometimes happened with the thing that they think may be what they're talking about. These are three ambiguous things. This is a lot of lies per second. This is why I like to stop this shit so you can analyze the language.
But election experts say the database that may have been used for that analysis often flags newly naturalized citizens.
Often flags newly naturalized citizens. That's an even smaller number. Like, that's such a small number that it shouldn't be a problem. But they're treating it like that's all of them. How many people get naturalized? 270,000 people get naturalized. I don't think that's the problem. But they're trying to obfuscate that by making this false claim to authority. No, we don't know who these election experts are. Making an ambiguous claim about the documents where you don't even admit if they are the same documents. And then a claim on a probability of yes or no if you're discussing the same thing and if the thing that you think they're talking about often flags naturalized citizen, skipping the fact that you're talking about 278,000 people. Are we thinking that many people get naturalized every year? I don't think so. So why are they in the rolls? Are we thinking 2000? It doesn't make sense.
As non-citizen voters. Meanwhile, the president is pushing Congress to pass sweeping legislation known as the Save America Act that would require voter ID and proof of citizenship.
And what's the problem with that? Now they're going to go to the video of him so that the people that hate him get riled up. Their little minute of hate, like 1984.
How easy is that to do unless you want to cheat?
The bill faces long odds in the Senate, in part because of concerns it would make it harder for Americans.
Okay, you know what? I'll give them this.
Unless
citizenship.
Voter ID, proof of citizenship. Okay, these two words are tied to this.
Citizenship.
How easy is that to do unless you want to cheat?
Look, that's a strong segue. I think that's what he's talking about. It's pretty easy to get voter ID and proof of citizenship unless you want to cheat. I can't deny that that's the central point of the SAVE Act. I can't deny that. They at least for 3 seconds, 4 seconds, maybe they were honest. Let's see where this goes.
The bill faces long odds in the Senate, in part because of concern.
Long odds in the Senate. At least these people are honest about it being in the Senate because it already passed the Congress. The other fucking video we watched, Good Morning America, whatever it's called in ABC, they lied. They said it's not going to get through the Congress. The bitch, it already got through Congress. What the fuck are you talking about?
It would make it harder for Americans to vote.
What we're going to do, if we continue down this path, is to convince the American
These guys make bolo ties look bad.
people that you can't count on your election results. And that is dangerous.
He's full of shit. All right. Oh, man. That was rough. That was rough. That's a lot of bullshit they put in there, huh? What is this? Is this Kamala? Yeah, that I don't know. These guys don't know how to use a good image. They refuse to air an official announcement. The President of the United States, they are controlling and shaping what we hear. Hitler did this. You have Putin, Stalin, Xi Jinping, Kim Jong-un, and every fascist in history. CNN, MSNBC, CBS. These are the people that cut the announcement or never even tried to broadcast it. Yes, Comcast is part of the World Economic Forum. Okay. You know what? You know what? I think I have something saved in my bookmark. Let's look at U.S.
We are
reacts.
unveiling today in the state capitol.
Okay, this is about Juan Ponce de Leon. Okay, so this is something that's happening in the U.S., especially in the north, but maybe it's going pretty far. We are holding Canada responsible for the fact that they are not properly maintaining their forests and brush therein. And the United States is being unnecessarily invaded by filthy, polluted people. I mean, unhealthy air. The quality which is dangerous and totally unacceptable. I will call the Prime Minister during the day to find out what they are going to do about it. The cost is incalculable. Canada has refused to engage in basic forest management and debris removal, knowing that such refusal will lead to exactly this result. This willful negligence and becoming a yearly occurrence is costing the United States of America billions of dollars, which costs of this pollution must be necessitated to be added to the tariffs Canada is currently paying. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. He did the all caps, so I gotta do the all caps. And he was angry, so I stayed angry. What do you guys think about this? We'll clean the air and we'll make Canada pay for it?
Thank you, Mr. Leader. Thank you, Carlos Jimenez, for sharing your incredible life story. Thank you to Chairwoman McClain. We're a little more animated these days than normal.
This is about
We've got
communism.
2 or 3 different ideas on how to make the Save America measures fit into the budget reconciliation process. As the name implies, it's got to be reconciling the budget. It's got to be tied to fiscal.
This already passed.
I brought a
This
little
already
fire to
passed.
our House Republican conference.
I'm gonna go home. Do I have any on my profile? Do I have any?
Call to abolish the U.S. Senate. The New York Democrat repeatedly declined to reject the plan. And when I pressed her on whether she supports the institution, Ocasio-Cortez suggested elements of the Senate.
I can hear her cackling.
Ocasio-Cortez suggested elements of the Senate were racist.
Racist.
I don't support the filibuster. I don't support elements of this institution that we know, were founded on Jim Crow.
Jim Crow is a Democrat policy, bitch. Aren't you a Puerto Rican? Don't you remember how the Puerto Ricans came here to Puerto Rico and fucking sterilized us by force? Don't you remember how they did that in New York, bitch? Don't you remember the Buck versus Bell laws that kept sterilizing brown and black people from Texas to Florida to Georgia to New York to California to Puerto Rico? You fucking fake Puerto Rican.
Those comments here in the Senate drawing sharp criticism.
Jim Crow is a Democrat policy.
Could you speak to like what's happening in Congress, or rather what is not happening in Congress? There's the Democrats this week blocked the defense bill, and then also we still are without FISA.
I don't
and
like
we
Nikki
know
Haley, but let's see what
that
she says.
Iranians would love to try to perpetrate a terrorist attack here on American soil. Do you have thoughts on how urgent this situation is for Congress to deal with?
It's unbelievable that the Democrats are going to turn around. One, the NDAA, FISA, they did this with Homeland Security. They care more about the midterms and making a political point than they do about securing Americans' safety. That's
Everybody
the
knows
biggest
this,
problem we have. I mean,
everybody knows this.
even if you look at the vote against Israel, I mean, what's happening with Israel and voting against aid, Israel's never violated a law. They've always stood with us as a valuable partner. We are stronger because of this.
Here we go again. Go again. Hold on. Gonna have to show this. All right, let's talk about aid. See, the thing about aid, can I bring this down? Bring this up. You guys see this? We're going to talk about this. I talked about it earlier, but I think we should talk about it again. Let's talk about aid. These are the foreign influence into the U.S. total estimated spending, highest to lowest. So who is spending money in the lobby? We talk about APAC and aid. China spends $457 million just in lobby spending. And they also spend around, let's put it 2.5 to 7. That's a wide gap. Let's cut it in half and say about $3 billion in influence spending plus this. Well, let's put it at 3.5 on universities and think tanks like the Confucius Institute. I think it's just been revealed that it's more. It's closer to 5 to the actual 7 billion. But let's just put it low. Qatar spends $256 million on lobbying. That's just talking to senators and Congress directly. That's what Qatar does. And they spend between $5 and $7 billion in, getting Hamas into the university and think tanks. Saudi Arabia with $310 million in lobbying, direct lobbying. That's talking to your senator, talking to your congressman. That's what they've been doing. And between $4 and $4.2 billion in universities, public relations, that means talking to NBC, CBS, ABC, NGOs. Who else does this? UAE, $242 million. and around 1.7 billion. Let's put it a billion and a half in universities and think tanks. So why is everybody that goes to college come out crazy? I wonder. Now let's look at Israel. Look at how much they spend on the lobby. Fucking cheapskates. You're not escaping the penny pincher allegations here. This is fucking penny pinching. What the hell are you doing? IPAC, which is Americans. These are Americans. They're not even all Jewish. A lot of Christians give into this. This fund, which is Americans that are giving to this fund, is 95 million, and the 700K, that's what Israel spent. So if we're talking about influence, operation, and aid, this is who the problem is. Japan and South Korea, okay, I understand why they're there, but we're aligned in interest, so I don't see us spending ungodly amounts of money on that. But oh man, it pisses me off to no end when I see that shit. Here we go. Let's go back to Nikki.
Israel. No one is pushing President Trump to support Israel. I disagree with J.D. Vance and what he said. Israel's not pushing anyone. Everyone is supportive of Israel because they've always stood by us.
Here's the problem. What J.D. Vance said was Israel should not be talking about this deal, should not be trying to influence the deal. But the deal includes in it that Israel can't defend itself from Hezbollah when Hezbollah starts bombing them. So it's not just a deal between America and Israel, because part of the deal is it's not just a deal between America and the IRGC in Iran, right? It's not just a deal between USA and the Ayatollahs. It's a deal between America, the IRGC, which is the Iranian military, and Israel, because they're telling Israel they can't fire. Well, then the IRGC has to tell Hezbollah not to fire. And somehow Lebanon, which is the place where Hezbollah is based out of, also has to speak on this deal. So how are you telling me? You're going to tell me what to do, but I'm not part of the deal and I can't speak on it? It's fucking bullshit.
This is a decision between, are you going to support Israel or are you going to support the terrorists?
It's not. It's a decision of, does Israel have a right to defend itself? Because part of the MOU was how Israel deals with Hezbollah.
That went into Israel and killed 1,200 people, took 250 hostage, including...
Oh my God, this bitch, what is wrong with you? Why don't you, okay. MOU, Hezbollah. How do you spell Hezbollah? Is that right?
The reason the MOU failed is because of some discrepancies in how we understand both of those items.
Okay, that's just funny. I wasn't even expecting that. That's just fun. Wait. I got to see this shit. I got to send this to Armin. He's going to love it. Let me mark this.
Mr. President, what was that bump?
Oh, it was nothing.
Okay, that was good. Okay, so this is it. Israel makes its position clear on the Lebanon ceasefire MOU. Footage from last night, IDA strikes on Hezbollah positions in Lebanon, followed by another reported strike this morning against Hezbollah targets. Why are they doing this? Because Hezbollah keeps firing rockets. Now, this is what Hezbollah does, because a lot of you guys might not know what Hezbollah, what the problem with Hezbollah is, right? I want to play this for you because a lot of people are like, oh, the ceasefire, why isn't the ceasefire happening? What does Israel care about the ceasefire? This is what the problem is.
I do want to pull up this video that was released by the Israel Defense Forces. This is some drone video they released
Explosive barrel.
just days ago.
That's an explosive barrel right there.
That does show essentially.
That's another one right there.
Booby-trapped homes in Rafah. We know that several soldiers did die as a result of an explosion in Rafah caused by booby-trapped buildings. So my question.
That's why you have to blow up the building, because you can't use it for anything else.
Does this kind of demonstrate some of the dangers that these Israeli troops are dealing with, as well as possibly the Palestinian civilians that are there in Rafah?
Absolutely. It shows how Hamas terrorists are using Palestinian.
This is Hamas. This isn't Hezbollah. I have some from Hezbollah, but it's the same tactics, and they both come from the IRGC and get funding and troops from them.
Gazan civilians as human shields. We've seen the tactic even used by terrorists in Somalia against U.S. Army troops. We've seen it used in Iraq. It's very perilous. You know, urban combat is very dangerous, counterinsurgency. But counterterrorism is worse when the terrorists see the civilian women and children as weapons. You know, Hamas terrorists have often carried around random children for many years, because if they murdered Israelis and they knew they were being targeted, they knew also that if they carried enough children, it would be likely that an F-16 or F-35 pilot would call off an operation to neutralize their terrorist forces. So they're using Palestinian women and children as human shields. It makes the operations of the IDF soldiers, especially on the ground, far more perilous. And that's one reason to kind of balance things right now as far as, you know, the intensity and frequency of operations and whether there needs to be a downgrade or a ceasefire.
So that's one perspective, and that's the problem with Hamas. Now, is this the same in Hezbollah's land? Yes, it is, and let's go into it. I just want to show the booby traps.
Imagine walking into a building, and the moment your foot crosses the threshold, the entire structure comes. 16th, 2020.
This is why their buildings get bombed. Look what's going on in the building.
26. The ink was barely dry, and soldiers were already being pulled from rubble. So how does something like this actually work? Booby-trapped buildings are one of the oldest and most effective asymmetric warfare tactics in the book, and in southern Lebanon, Hezbollah has had decades to perfect this. There are generally three types of traps investigators look for in situations like this. 1. Legacy explosives. 2. Victim-activated IEDs. 3. Command-detonated charges. Someone is watching. Someone has eyes on that building, and they press a button at the exact moment troops enter. Here's the bigger picture.
Are you guys getting it? Why Vance is full of shit and why people get mad? Was they're destroying buildings, they're knocking down buildings. Trump, I know you like buildings. I know you make beautiful buildings. But if your buildings became booby traps for the NYPD, I think you'd be like, okay, knock it down. That's not a perspective I'm hearing very much. And I want it out there more because I want you guys to know, right? At least you guys are going to know.
Hezbollah doesn't fight like a conventional army.
You guys tell people, right? Like, you know, they're like at this moment, we're in the growing phase, but you guys can tell people what's up. Like, I'm going to put these links up there in the chat so you guys can share them. You bookmark it or some shit. I don't know, tweet it at yourself, send it to yourself on WhatsApp. Whatever you got to do so everybody's talking some shit. It's like, look, man, this isn't even America. This is India talking about this shit, right?
spent years with Iranian backing and training, mastering the art of making southern Lebanon as lethal as possible for any advancing force. Rigged buildings, underground tunnel networks.
Look at the fucking size of this rocket. You know why their water system sucks? Because they use the pipes for this shit.
Pre-positioned rocket launch sites, weapons buried inside civilian structures. The ceasefire that just went into effect? Hezbollah is not a formal signatory. Let that sink in.
Yes, that's the problem with the ceasefire. Hezbollah didn't sign it.
The group at the center of this conflict didn't officially sign on to the truce. Both sides, Israel and Lebanon, have reserved the right to self-defense if the ceasefire is violated. So you have soldiers still operating in the field, civilians trying to come home, a ceasefire without Hezbollah's formal buy-in, and buildings that could detonate at any moment. That is an incredibly volatile mix. 6 soldiers wounded, a building collapsed, a ceasefire tested before it even found its footing. The next 10 days will tell us a lot about whether this ceasefire holds or whether the ground itself has other plans.
So that's the people involved. I gave you guys a link so you could see it. This is India. Like they may have some interest in it, but I don't think they're fucking lying about it. They're saying the same thing everybody else is saying because it's fucking true. Oh my God, it's unbelievable that we still have to explain this shit. Unbelievable. All right, I don't know what this is because I don't remember seeing this one, but I remember looking for it. And I skimmed through it, is what I say. This is CNN. These are the rockets. Okay, so this isn't recent. This was a year ago, but this is like demonstrating. Hidden rocket launchers.
Majdal Shams attack that killed 12
heavyweight rockets,
innocent children. We also struck
short-range rockets
until now. Threat. The IDF strike 1,300 targets until now, including long-range cruise missiles, heavyweight rocket with 1,000 kilo warhead. This is the same type of rocket that was used in the Majdal Shams attack that killed 12 innocent children. We also struck a short and medium range rockets and UAVs, all capable of attacking deep inside Israeli territory and causing major damage to civilian towns and cities as part of our efforts to mitigate harms to civilians. You can see how Hezbollah hides long-range rockets with range of hundreds.
I'm going to put this in the chat for you guys so you guys can check it out. Give it a like, share it. Like, one of the things I like to do when like someone in my family says, well, what about this? I'm like, bro, check out this video. Like, I send it to my cell phone WhatsApp and then I copy it and I paste it to their WhatsApp. All right. See over here. Oh my God. Let me enlarge this so I can read it better. Guys, I'm old. My eyes are not what they were. I lived in Israel for a few years, and I hate seeing this happening to them. Yes, this is terrible. No one should have to put up with these terrorist pieces of shit.
Hundreds of kilometers inside the attic of a house in the heart of Khumin al-Takhta village in southern Lebanon.
In the heart of a village. They don't care how many people in that village want nothing to do with this.
You can see here that the rocket is stored on an hydraulic system and is prepared for a launch out of an opening in the roof, directed at the communities in northern Israel. And more than that, under this attic, a family lives and serves as a human shield for Hezbollah. The IDF strikes today, we saw many secondary explosions, such as this. Behind every secondary explosions, there's a building containing deadly munitions, rockets and missiles, triggering such
I bet sometimes that's what knocks down the building.
a reaction like you see here. It is likely that some of the casualties are from these secondary explosions. Here you
see the problem?
Look, man. I'm gonna follow these people. I think I got one more. I think I got one more. Because I want to make it clear. And this is a problem that I'm not. Here's the 2 points that are not being discussed in all that bullshit JD Vance said. Number one, what do you mean they're not going to try to influence the deal? Motherfucker, they're part of the deal. Part of the deal is how they treat Hezbollah, how they treat Lebanon. What do you mean they can't influence the deal? What do you mean they shouldn't? What is this wishy-washy? Well, everybody tries. Yeah, but not everybody is directly related to the fucking actions that can and can't be taken by states within the signers of the deal. Like, to sign the deal, you have to guarantee that someone else is like, look, let me see who's in the chat. Let me see who's in the chat. All right, who's in the chat? Now we got I see Texas. Oh, we have a super chat. I'm sorry. Ahef has a super chat for us. Sorry I didn't show it before. This actually came a while ago. I hope Ahef is here. Ahef, thank you very much. I'm going to read your super chat now. I like how the response is Trump said 220 million data breach. I think I did read that. Only 180 million registered. Missed the entire other half of the Chinese U.S. flipped elections possible. But we're idiots. Missed the entire other half where Chinese and USA flipping elections was possible. Yes, like they missed the whole point. Yes, that is true. And thank you very much. Okay, so here's my example. We have Texas and Mark are in the chat. All right, Texas. There's Texas, and here is Mark. Okay, so Newshound. You and me are gonna make a deal. I'm gonna sell you this car, and as part of the sale of this car between me and Newshound, Texas has to sell Doritos to Mark at half price. But they, I didn't ask them. They're not part of this deal. Like, it's just a deal between you and me, and it's gonna control them, and they don't get a say in it. Does that make any sense? It doesn't make sense, does it? Nah. What? You don't like being it? Okay, so the deal is now for bananas. I gotta sell him the car for bananas. I mean, I'm tempted. Don't get me wrong, but I might not do that. So, and thank you very much, Ehe, for the super chat. Thank you very much. This is very short, but this is them locating the booby traps. This is very dangerous. You see that on the floor? How it's wired in? You see how they put it in trash? But it's wired in? See the gas tank? You can wire that gas tank to explode. That'll kill everybody in that room. So that's kind of the problem that we're dealing with. All right, let's look at see what else we got here. Let's get back into I got some things from Telegram. Let me see if I can use more of these. All right. We're going to go through a fake fact check. You guys want to see a fake fact check before we go? Let's see how long this is. Oh my God, this is 10 minutes?
In a primetime address to the nation, President Trump criticized alleged vulnerabilities in the U.S. election system, but he didn't provide actual evidence of vote.
He did provide evidence, you fucking liar. Oh my God, we just started. We just fucking started. Why is this guy lying? Well, I know why he's lying. He's a sellout, a traitor.
Tampering. For years, the president and his allies have falsely claimed the 2020 election was rigged.
Have falsely claimed. What do you fucking know?
Well, last night, the president claimed the Chinese government collected voter data, exaggerated claims about.
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. Fuck this guy. I'm not doing this. I had a couple of rage clips. I'm not doing this. Let's see what else we got. Let's see what else we got. Hassan is mad that Asmongold got a girlfriend. Okay, Asmongold got a girlfriend. The Hermit King is not a hermit anymore. I'm not getting into that. Iran is having some problems. Okay. God Logic is fighting Muslims. I'm not surprised. What the hell? Is Britain having a secession? British revolt? Are the British leaving a British region? I don't know. Benny tends to exaggerate. Assyrian genocide. Yes, they did kill a lot of people in very bad ways. Let me just go to the stuff I'm subscribed to because they sometimes recommend some weird shit. Okay. We're going to listen to a brigadier general talk about what's going on with the strikes because I think this is new Nick Shirley. I don't know. Is there a new Nick Shirley video? Did I miss it? No Democrat senator. Yeah, because they think they're on video. That's why they didn't show up. Let me see if I see anything else. This is a little longer. This is way longer. This is what I want to see. You guys want to hear a brigadier general talk about this shit?
Fox News alert, Trump's burning bridges. Last night, we eliminated 3 key Iranian bridges around Bandar Abbas, their largest port and Navy headquarters. The bridges are the arteries into the heart of Iran. Now they're closed off. We also smoked a major railway station, cutting off their military from resupply lines. And that's not all. Fighter jets, drones, and warships lit up air defense sites and military airports.
Mark, you know what? We went into that a little bit yesterday. It was later in the show. You might not have caught it, but we did get into, like Mark Little is saying in the chat, Nick Shirley going after more fraudster, this time in New York, targeting adult daycare. You know what we saw? That situation is actually kind of sad because these people are used to being together and they have nice facilities, but like they offer to some of these old people kickbacks and they frame it like, oh, you know, they're saving money and the money that they save, they give it to you in cash. But it's an NGO. They're not supposed to make money. They're supposed to put all the profit into the facilities running smoothly and having more amenities for these elderly people. And instead of that, they're pocketing money and giving a cut to the residents, and the residents think that it's a legit situation. So you're really old, right? You're a very elderly person. Your kids don't visit no more. They have their own kids and their own grandkids, and you just want to be with your friends from that place where adults hang out to get back together, so they're not stuck in the house all depressed. And because sometimes it's dangerous to have them there cooking all day, right? So they serve them some meals, they do some exercise, play some mahjong. A lot of these were Asian, so they play mahjong, not dominoes. I'm sure other places in other boroughs have dominoes and chess or whatever. So the place with a nice facility that's spending all the money on the amenities, they start losing people and they're like, what the fuck is going on? We're not even going to we're going to have to shut down because everybody's leaving. And they're leaving to these rinky-dink places that cheap out and put in false names, right? To charge a whole lot of money
and they give kickbacks to the fucking senior citizens. Like, let's say, hey, I'll give you $100 a week or some shit. And they're like, okay, cool. And they think it's legal because they think that they're just saving so much money that you get the money. And when they go to the nice place and say, hey, can I get some money? They're like, I can't do that. That's illegal. Oh, but they run it cheaper so that we get money. And the guys in the nice place are like, bro, that's illegal. I can't do that. I said, oh, well, I'm going to the other place because my friends are over there and I'm going to be lonely here. That's how they get them. We went into that yesterday. All right, but now we're going to get into a brigadier general, right? Retired brigadier general on escalated strikes in Iran. We're going to go over Iran. This is very important. We just had JD Vance talking about this shit, talking a lot of shit. But you know what? We're going to get into it.
Fox News alert, Trump's burning bridges. Last night, we eliminated 3 key Iranian bridges around Bandar Abbas, their largest port and Navy headquarters. The bridges are the arteries into the heart of Iran. Now they're closed off. We also smoked a major railway station, cutting off their military from resupply lines. And that's not all. Fighter jets, drones, and warships lit up air defense.
So the problem is they were getting resupplied from railways. I think this coming in through Pakistan, and I forgot where the other place is. But they're getting resupplied, and that's a problem.
Sites and military air power near the Gulf of Oman. Here it is coming down. It was the mullah's eyes over the strait. They use it to coordinate their attacks on innocent ships.
We've hit that thing like 5 times.
Been slapping around the gay Ayatollah for 7 straight days. But Iran still has some fight left in them. They launched ballistic missiles into Kuwait, hit a water plant.
Shalom, I'm Israel Chai. I always hear Armin say that. I hope it's something nice.
That's terrorism. Axios is reporting Iran's also launching missiles at bases in Saudi Arabia. So far, everything's been intercepted. But here comes the big squeeze. Airstrikes combined with the naval blockade is strangling their economy. And once we step up attacks on bridges and rails in the north, we'll have a land blockade. The goal is to take their oil revenue down to 0. All of these chess moves are setting the table for a massive offensive. When Trump was in the Situation Room this week, he was handed a new menu of options, like wiping out power plants and double-tapping nuke sites, and then flattening Pickaxe Mountain, where the intel says they could dash and stash
This is what I was saying. It's like, it's not worth it. Why you gonna? Yeah, you got to flatten Pickaxe Mountain.
their uranium. We're already seeing the pieces move. Trump told Israel to clear the runway. We're sending in dozens of refueling planes to keep our bombers in the air. You don't move that much hardware unless you're planning to use it.
Goddamn right.
We also have more than 2,000 Marines trained in water landings.
This is what I'm talking about. What is boots on the ground? Many people say one boot can't touch the ground. That's not what boots in the ground means. Boots in the ground means like 50, 100,000 people.
Right on Iran's doorstep, the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit. Trump still hasn't pulled the trigger. A ground assault would be a serious
Texas
escalation,
is with me on
but
this.
the mullahs cannot control the strait.
Isolating the Straits of Hormuz was always part of the plan. So that's why you see bridges being destroyed, because we don't want them to come in and be able to reinforce logistically and begin to recover the capabilities that we're taking away from them. For Iran, the Straits of Hormuz is a strategic asset. They are willing to fight us for it, and we have got to take it away from them and prevent them from ever getting it back under their control again.
John Tickert is a former Deputy Undersecretary of Foreign Affairs and former Senior Defense Attaché in the Middle East. John, the latest contours of attacks, how do you see it?
Jesse, I see what's going on in the scale strategic strikes to bend the will of the regime to our strategic interests.
This is what Jeffrey talks about too. His 5x5, like 5 days, $5 billion. You just keep escalating and escalating and escalating and escalating.
How long do you think that'll take? Because these strikes seem to be doing a lot of damage already, especially knocking out these railways and bridges.
Jesse, there are two additional operational advantages to what we've been seeing the last couple of nights. Number one is it does indeed cut their supply lines and isolate their forces in the area in or around the Strait of Hormuz. That means that it's less likely they can defend themselves and less likely they can project power in the region. And then number two, it prepares the battlefield. So if the president so chooses to implement a ground invasion in that area, then it would be easier, it would be safer and more effective. And all of those things are stemming from these type of operational targets that can defend.
Let's go over this again, because we're talking about ground troops.
Themselves and less likely they can project power in the region. And then number two, it prepares the battlefield. So if the president so chooses to implement a ground invasion in that area, then it would be easier, it would be safer and more effective. And all of those things are stemming from these type of operational targets that have been.
Okay, so we have someone in the chat here been saying some kind of intelligent things. And he's saying, he's talking about what's been going on with Trump and his revelations about election fraud. So scratch that. Trump stood up for the entire world that still seeks goodness and highlighted evil that's been infiltrating into the civilized nations and seeking to destroy all that is good. I don't know if you guys can catch what he's talking about, but I think it's very true. You think the only people that are doing election fraud, the only people that are getting this election fraud is the Americans? I'm sure they're doing this shit in UK. I'm sure they're doing this shit everywhere they can. So this person is right. Lama, you absolutely right. Because those motherfuckers are probably doing this shit all over the world. All right? All over the world. It's not just US. US been particularly weak about this shit. But they probably doing that shit all over the world. And I want to thank you for being here. And thank you for your comments. I just wanted to highlight that, because this interference that we're seeing by the people that back Iran, because it's who is backing Iran, who is resupplying them. We're taking out these bridges because they're getting resupplied. Resupplied from where? From Russia and from China. So thank you. Appreciate your comments.
Struck in the last couple of days.
What would a ground assault there look like? Capture islands, strategic territory in the coastline? Tell us about that.
Jesse, that's exactly right. For the specifics around the Strait of Hormuz, the U.S. Central Command has no doubt mapped out the area that is most significant and what we would need to do to take terrain to best protect our forces in shipping. And then there still is the wild card of what we're going to do on Karg Island to the north, and whether that is strikes to permanently disable and eliminate Iran's energy sources and resources, or whether that's an invasion there that.
So the thing about Karg Island has freedom. You know how another word for freedom? 33 million barrels of oil. We could liberate that $33 billion of oil to keep the market stable and put all that money in an escrow account where we're saving it. We don't have to take their money. We could just save it for the future Iranian republic or constitutional monarchy, whatever they decide to be, the transitional government. Pahlavi wants to be on the head of it. I kind of agree that he should be. The people going to decide. I think he can head a transitional council pretty good. But if we take that oil and we put that oil in an escrow account, and we already set up an escrow account. We did this like last month. Like we could get shit done. Like we have already made moves on the legal side, on the technical side, on the economic side to make this happen.
That would allow us to keep those energy resources. I think U.S. Central Command is.
I haven't seen this before, but you hear what he said? Let us keep those energy resources.
Giving the president options, and I think both of those ground invasion options, Karg Island and the area around the strait, are on the table.
Yeah, the president told Trey Yingst that if you could push the enemy back far enough from Karg, he would consider that operation. Once you do capture Karg, what kind of leverage does that give over the enemy?
Jesse, 90% of Iran's oil exports go through that single island. That means if we either destroy it, then there's no chance for them to rebuild and it strangles their economy. Or if we take it, then we keep those resources ourselves. There's risk at capturing that island because the enemy is going to do their best to defend it. But if we decide to do it, then it ultimately takes 90% of export revenue off the table for Iran, and it does indeed strangle the regime.
And wouldn't that just bring them right to their knees? They'd have to sign over everything at that point. Do you think it's worth the risk?
Look, I'm gonna be real, guy. I'm gonna be real, guys. Like, I was in the infantry, right? Like, you guys have seen my picture. Like, well, that's not what I look like. That's like, you guys have seen what I used to look like, right? When I was sketch, right? What I used to look like decades ago, right? You guys have seen it, right? But what I was a grease monkey, right? I can't claim to be this war fighter that was like, I was in the infantry, like I was going to be in front of it, but I was going to be up front fixing tanks, right? That's when I made my avatar. I didn't try to make myself a superhero. I didn't try to make myself something big. I'm a little grease monkey. I'm not trying to be above you guys. I don't think I'm better than any of you guys. That's why I didn't even make myself human. I went a little bit below that, right? Not that I have anything against monkeys. If there's any monkeys watching, love you guys. We are one. But that's what I'm trying to say here is that we choose to serve. We know we might die. We know for a fucking fact that we might die. Death is in the cards for us. Like, we choose this, right? So people say, oh, we don't want the troops involved. I don't want any troops in all this. Motherfucker, we chose this life. You can't be worried for the troops so much that you make the military useless. I am glad. I am 100% glad that the American people are worried that people like us, our lives are not wasted. But there's a big difference between our lives being wasted and our lives being used as an excuse to not do the things we signed up to do. Like, there's this big misunderstanding, and the biggest misunderstanding on earth is war, because war is a misunderstanding of what will be lost and what will be gained by all involved from top to bottom. When the IRGC started this war, they misunderstood what they were going to gain and what they were going to lose. They thought they were going to be sitting pretty, but for a long time, the economy in Iran has gone down and down and down, and they have had just to go off what they wanted to do to keep investing in this war. Some fight to stop it. Some fight to start it. I wanted to stop it. That's why I got in. I wasn't in there to start wars, but sometimes you got to be ready to stop it. Right? So that's like the big hidden secret. It's all a big misunderstanding, and these people will just dare to understand, because some people don't want to understand, and those are the toughest people to work with. It's hardest to wake the guy that's pretending to sleep. How are you going to wake that guy up? He's pretending to be asleep. It's hardest to cure the hypochondriac because he's lying about being sick. You're not going to be able to cure him, right? That's what makes this so tough. But don't let these people who want to use us as leverage so that we can't do what we signed up to do. We don't want our lives wasted. But if it's in the cause of good and the defense of our nations, dude, let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. I'll have you know that the largest loss of life since September 11 until September 11 was by Hezbollah. They attacked our Marine barracks in Lebanon. They attacked the embassy in Beirut. Before 9/11, that was the highest American loss of life. Like, these people, like literally Hezbollah, not anybody else. And those are proxies of the IRGC. The IRGC also killed a lot of us. So that's why we're in this fucking fight. Let this play on, because I'm going to go on a tangent again.
Jesse, at this point, we've got to do something to fundamentally change the strategic calculus. That is, hit the regime in the areas that they value most, the sources of their strength. And I think the nexus of that starts with Karg Island. And with no ability to fund their regime, then they would have to capitulate. Otherwise, there's no way forward for them.
Would you consider additional decapitation strikes to some of the regime leadership?
Jesse, I think every strike we take from here on out should be mapped to how do we achieve our strategic objectives by that military activity. And some of those would be further regime leadership strikes. Some of those would be to eliminate internal security hubs. Some of those would be energy and power and key nodes of infrastructure and logistics. And maybe even now is the time to unleash the Kurds and provide them air cover and all of the...
I would not do that. I would call that a mistake. I would not unleash the Kurds. Texas telling us, Texas troop says, I want them gone so bad. 3 generations of my family have had to fight these bastards over there. Well, you know what? I'm sending all my blessing and all my love to you and your kin for all that you did, for all that you've done.
Those things would put severe pressure on the regime.
Well, I think you're right at the top. The president does look like he's setting the table for something big. And we'll follow that next week. John, thank you so much for your analysis. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.
Retired Vice Admiral Robert Harward, former deputy commander.
I want to see what this guy says, the Vice Admiral. I'm going to be real with you guys. We're going to have a little talk about the Kurds. As far as I know, the Kurds that they're talking about are not Iranian Kurds. They're Iraqi Kurds. And Iraqi Kurds are not for the integrity of the Irani border, and that's a problem. That's a problem. What we want is them, we want them to whoever is fighting with us to want the national integrity of those borders. The problem with the Kurds, they want Kurdistan, and Kurdistan takes chunks from 4 nations. It's basically the Palestine situation in 4 places instead of 2. That's the problem with instead of 1, because Palestine and Israel, okay, you could say it's 2 places, but it's all in 1 nation. What arming Kurds and supporting Kurds does is it exacerbates that problem into making 4 Palestines, not in Israel. Arm the Kurds.
These 7 days now of...
I could be... I want to look at this. Okay, so here are the strikes. Report of explosions without footage. That's all over here. You see that? You guys see it? That's high up. That's way north. I'm sorry. Reported airstrikes. This is... Bandar Abbas is down here. This is near Iraq. So here's the problem. Kurdistan sits, if I remember right, was it around here? I don't remember where it was. I think it was around here. But I know it takes land. I'm going to find that out after this. But I'm going to try to figure out the problem in Kurdistan, like where it is, so I can show it. I wonder how much of that oil they're sending to China from Russia. Russia has big problems with refineries and oil. They're not being able to... Russia isn't able to even get gasoline to its people. And Russia's basically a giant gas station. For them to lower their... For China to lower their intake by 20% on the world market, where are they getting it? Are they getting it directly from Russia? One of the things that's a benefit that China has is that China can take heavy, dirty oil, stuff that, it makes a lot of sulfur. It's really hard on equipment to process, and China processes that shit nice, right? So I would say if Russia takes its oil centers that are farthest from Ukraine, and they're not even taking it to the refineries, they're just sending it straight to China, that might, and I could be totally wrong. This is a stab in the dark, mind you. They could be getting that oil from Russia, and that's why Russia isn't getting gasoline, because Russia doesn't have the money to buy anything. They just have the money to sell so that they can keep their war machine going. So Russia might be selling that oil as far away from Ukraine as possible to China, and China might be buying it. And that's why China gets 20%, because you can't just 20% of all the oil that China takes is so much. That is a lot. That's not a little bit. That is a lot of fucking oil. So what happened to that demand? How was China able to decrease demand by 20%? I know they got a lot of disasters. I know basically all their rivers flooded, all their dams broke. I think, they're getting the 10 plagues. They might be getting 20 plagues. I don't know what's going on there. I hope some Moses shows up and, lets their people go. But they're getting hit with everything. That might have also driven down demand. I don't know if it's 20%. That's another possibility that must be considered. If you look at the situation in China, it's fucking crazy. But it could be a combination. It could be 10% that they're going through their 20 plagues and waiting for the Chinese Moses to let the people go. Or it could be that at 10% that, 10% Russia, or their drop in demand is because they're getting that oil from Russia. And Russia is selling it to them in the farthest place from Ukraine where they can pump and sell. That would be kind of like where I would go with it. I could be absolutely wrong about this. I'm just taking a stab in the dark. This is off the top of the dome, like they say, the rappers, like when they improvise, they say off the top of the dome. This is me off the top of the dome making some analysis. But dropping 20% in consumption, that's a lot. That's not a little, that's a lot.
Right. But drive down their demand. Want to stay out as much as they can.
We're talking about China
keep
here.
them alive.
Well, they're damn
Storage so that it doesn't, go bad. Essentially, the majority of their oil from Iran.
Here, this is the toughest one. I'm gonna be real with you guys. Getting this done through these mountains, this is incredibly hard. Like, it's a little easier to defend than over here, but you could still have like drones attacking here. This is mountain, so you'd have to dig through mountain to make well, you could make a pipe here, but it would be very difficult to make a straight here, like dig a straight, like you would dig a straight here. So this is difficult. It's better as a pipe. A pipe here, planned and proposed, yeah, that would be great. I think that lets you avoid the Houthis down here. Pipes through Jordan. I want you guys to see something. This is Iran. This is Iraq. This is Syria. This is Jordan. This is Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, Oman. Down here is Yemen, Egypt. You see this tiny little thing right here? You see this tiny little thing right here? That's Israel. I think over here is Lebanon. Or, yeah, this must be Lebanon. This is Syria, and this is Turkey. So this little thing right here, everybody worried about this little thing right here? Everybody scared of this little thing right here? Everybody says that this little thing right here is the bullies. I think they're full of shit. But like one thing that Israel does is it watches over these pipes. And it's a lot cheaper for us it watches it because it's in their own interest, right? To have a good relationship with Jordan, have a good relationship with Saudi Arabia. It's getting better. Like I think they already have they're starting to have a good relation with UAE. But it's in their interest to watch our pipes, right? Or pipes that are, with our interest, because we do have had since the petrodollar, since the days of the beginning of the petrodollar, an interest with Saudi Arabia. So Israel helps us guard all of this. Why do they do that? Because we give them a discount, 10 to 15% on F-35s and all missiles, weapons, and systems. Why do we do that? Well, we can't give it to anyone else. And because we have the same interest here, well, we might as well arm them, because everything that they're going to attack for the same reason we would attack. Everything they're going to defend it for the same reason we would defend. So we give Israel a little discount. And this little discount is what everybody's crying about.
ultimately, of course, But as you said, it's going to take time. More money, you can do it quicker.
Yeah, like I said, this is Yemen, Oman, UAE, like all these countries scared of Israel. This little thing right here. Government transition, government collapse. Think about, see how he's making a distinction between the government and the IRGC, like a change in government. Like he said a lot of points here I thought was important. I also start some comments, and I know this is well-meaning, but I got to explain something to you. Okay, you say, God bless you. Sincerely, thank you for your service, your bravery, alone, volunteering service to your company, knowing it would lead to your death, puts you rightfully above the majority of citizens. Okay, I have to push back a little. Please don't take it the wrong way, but I can't be above the citizens I serve. That's what the IRGC thinks they are. They think because they are not life lovers, because they give their life, that they are above the citizens, and they take horrible control of the citizen because they think they are above the citizens because they are willing to give their lives. I can't do that. Like, I have to know I serve the citizens. That's why we call it military service. Like, we serve, we are servants to the people. We are servants to civilian. Like, we're supposed to treat let me put myself here. We are supposed to treat politicians as high-ranking officers, right? We have to respect the people that were elected, and even those who are elected, even though they don't all have that attitude, they are supposed to see themselves as servants of the people. Oh my God, I got a crazy banner here. What's this? Let me take this banner off. I wonder how long that's been going. But what I'm trying to say here, I'm not trying to make you feel bad or nothing. I'm just trying to explain something. In America, you are servants. And what do you serve? I serve the freedom of the people. Like, we know, for us to be like a good stewards of the people, not stewards, because that will put us above them. For us to be people that serve the country, we have to protect rights. And those rights are the same rights we have. Everybody knows that a military serviceman has less rights than a civilian. They don't have more. Like, I'm under stricter control as a serviceman than I am as a civilian. Like, I have less rights than a civilian. And we choose that because it is a pleasure to be of service for most of us, right? The best way to show thanks to a soldier is to remember your rights and defend them in where you guys have power, which is within your electorate, within your communities. Know your rights, know your civics, and defend that. But I can't put myself above, and me being willing to die doesn't make me better than any citizen and put me above them any more than anyone in the IRGC being willing to die puts them above those citizens. That's why it's a tricky thing, but you gotta know that shit, right? Because it's dangerous. It's dangerous. It leads you to have an attitude like you're better. Can't have that. Can't have that. But I appreciate the sentiment. And this is another thing that's important. We got China by the balls now. Trump has been playing flawless chess, 10 moves ahead. Yeah, he took Venezuela. That's a key point that China needed. After that, went fast into Iran, key point China needed. Before that, with the tariffs, he moved like 40% of the trade that we went down 40% of trade with China. 40% that. That's a lot of trade that we went down through the tariffs and by just closing loops and start friendshoring and onshoring the stuff that we bought from China. So all of this is putting China in a bind. So yeah, we have been 10 moves ahead. The tariffs were a move against mostly China. It put a lot of people in their place, but mostly it was a move against China. Venezuela was a move against China. We did a lot of things that are moves against arming Japan, arming Taiwan, like upping their weapons, everything to do with Takaishi. She's doing it for her people, but we align. What the stuff we do with Israel. Israel is doing it for their people, but we align. So, yep, they got called out on the global stage, and we have squeezed their pipes. nearly closed. They're also getting punished. Like, I don't know if you believe in God or not, but damn, they're getting all the plagues. I mean, come on. China's getting hit so hard. What else we got over here? Monkey, a great way of breaking down things to the nuts and bolts. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. And with that, guys, I think I'm going to call it for the night. I want to thank you guys for being here. And I also want to bless you. Bless you guys. Bless your health. Bless your wealth. Bless your homes, bless your plans, bless your kin, your loved ones, everything you touch. Peace.